Hey fellow Starjacks, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, The Voidborn. Episode 2, our ship is ready for habitation. Now that I'm starting to get a little bit more steel. So this is, the internals is a 5x20, so this is another 5x20. So we'll queue this up, and that also means that like I kind of low-key need to get the jade away. So I'll finish mining this node, but I'll need to cut the jade out because it's in the way. And yeah, yet another person carrying more reinforced barrels than is what would reasonably be carryable, just like last stream. You know, 40 kilos of reinforced barrels with 35 kilos of total carry weight. Yep, math checks out. Alright, if I was to build a jade wall, it is not airtight. That's what I thought. Stone and jade, not airtight. It has to be metallic. But for internal walls, that's fine. Is obsidian stony or metallic? I think it's metallic. I forget. Pretty green floor? Jade floors aren't a thing. But you can still have internal walls that don't need to be airtight, have jade. Like, that's not an issue. Plus, we're Voidborn. We're, like, naturally vacuum resistant, so perfect airtightness is, like, far less of a concern for us. Because as long as we're wearing helmets, which don't have a move speed penalty, we won't suffocate in space. So, Starjacks are just good at that. And here's another use for jade. Jade stool. So we'll get a laboratory up. Oh, it's masterwork. Holy hell. Okay. Well, comfort rating of almost 75%. It's not bad. And I'm going to remove the roof right over where he is because I don't have lights yet. So he's lit. Bad temperature, I know. We're working on it. I can't believe Levin hasn't gotten up yet. Did the other... Ooh, there's elk. Nice. Elk do not have the same revenge chance that muskoxes do. So, Icy, I'm gonna have you hunt them. And his mining has already gone up a level. Great. He's level 12, minus 8, but still. A little bit faster. Mike, thank you for the resub. And Jygor and J-Dog and Mac Lynn and Aichi for the cheer. Thank you guys. If you built a ship with walls but still no ship floor under them, would it be airtight? No. If you have like, if you're asking if I remove the floor here, it would leak to vacuum. So we're building up a nice supply of corpses to butcher when the time comes. Interestingly, it's above freezing right now. It's 2 Celsius, which means I do have to worry about them spoiling, potentially. So I'll keep an eye on their spoil timers, because I don't want them to spoil. That would be a real shame. So once I finish the 4 sectioned rooms here, I'll go ahead and start set up the power infrastructure that we want. So I could hypothetically run right now. It is set to be able to launch as it is, but because I parked like next to nice resources and there's gold and there's silver and stuff, I don't really want to leave until we have exploited these things. All right, 11 should be getting up and leaving now. What treats do I feed him? Peanuts. Dry roasted, unsalted peanuts. He loves them. Is fishing a part of hunting? Fishing is animals. Fishing is an animal skill. Animal handling. So it is not a part of hunting. Therefore, Starjacks, big suck at fishing too. There we go. I tended to a member. Yep. We'll totally go with that story. Mm-hmm. I'm the hero here. That's right. Alright, battery tech is done. After battery tech, I want to start working towards electronics tech. I think that's most reasonable to try to get like a proper research bench. So we research at full speed. And then, let's go ahead. I'm just thinking about like big picture ship design, where I want to put chemgens, because chemgens do produce heat, and if we're ever in a hot biome, I don't necessarily want the heat of the chemgens bleeding into the ship. So I might wait for there to be a little bit more infrastructure built so that I can put the chemgens somewhere where heat isn't an issue. Do we get hit from NPM? We do not. Shipborne, generally speaking, it's not a requirement of the ideal or of the meme, but generally speaking, they don't mind nutrient paste. All right, now the hunting that I've queued up is over. Ice will get back to building. I think for now, I'm gonna put doors here, just because I can't afford too much more infrastructure. Oh, we are getting attacked by a dude with a club who's a waster. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Hey, Lisk. Did we ever end up getting that pistol? No, we never did. While you come back with the pistol, haul the breach axe. Ideally, I want Icy to get the killing blow. She is Bloodlust after all. Do you have gear? It's all pretty tattered, so I'm just going to finish him off. Not much of a first fight, but, you know, she doesn't mind. So the initial ship hull sections are done. We have 140 graphite panels left. I'm not pressured by the mechanoids just yet to run, but they will be approaching us soon. The next thing I want to do, now that we have these sections up, is to get the production power going. So the idea that I have here is I'm going to take a page out of my last run where I want to put the kitchen sort of like in the middle of the ship. And the reason for this is so that we can easily have one chimney that vents out 3 ways, or potentially 4 ways, but 3 ways is more reasonable. So to upgrade the priority, build a ship kitchen. Straightforward. Can you make a room on the ship that is permanently in a vacuum using vacuum barriers? Well, so vacuum in this game, yeah, I think you could. You could have a vacuum room. If you went to space, outgassed everything to vacuum, and then created vac barriers, and then you could probably keep vacuum. I don't know if the vacuum barriers are perfectly airtight, but that would be an experiment to do at some point. To satisfy curiosity. So let's design the kitchen. So we'll have a cooler here, and the ability to have coolers on the other side, but because I have a limited amount of resources, I don't want to build them just yet. And then we can have just like a long boy kitchen here. Doesn't have a ton of food, but, you know, it'll have enough. The other thing yeah, that's good enough. I know I don't have any, like, power production or anything like that. That's pretty high up on my list of next things to do. Because obviously there's no point in having an electric stove if, you know, you can't actually cook on it. What stone... You know what? Let's do granite. I was going to say, what stone should we use for shelves and the like? Because, I'm not too keen on using shelves that can burn. And then if we put a biofuel refinery here, I can put my chem gems. So one of the issues that I have with this design is getting from the front to the back of the ship is kind of a pain. Because of the... If I place this here, that would still cover the back of the ship. There's not a good spot for this grav engine. Because of the way I could always move the chem fuel tanks. It's not that much steel to move them. And we don't lose any of the volume if we move them. So maybe that's more the solution. I could offset it, but I don't intend to either. I'll leave it as it is for now. Alright, we mined up all of that steel, so let's continue mining with Lisk. And he's pushing to mining 5. Things like drill arms and plant hands going to be kind of important for us, given our complete lack of ability in some of the most basic survival, you know, skills. You're getting 3 steel for graph ship haul. I'll have you haul. Marlborough furniture and shelving for the beauty. So shelves don't have a beauty modifier, but for furniture, sure. What's the radius of the ship engine? Like how far can you build? So it has a 30. What was that? A 37 by 37 circle. You can always expand this with grav field extenders, though. So if I had a bunch of extenders, you know, you could have a very long container ship if you wanted. You can really use the grav field extenders to build a lot of different shapes, and it does eventually max out at 2,000 tiles, but that's a whole lot of tiles to play with. This is airtight. If you're wondering if this ship is airtight, if it forms a room, it's airtight, provided you use airtight walls. That would be a good way to think about it. All right, we've got a kitchen. And then once we break down some of the granite, I'm not going to queue anything up with this granite. I'm going to let her break down the entire room, and then we'll make some granite shelves. We've got more elk. Very tempted to hunt them, just to completely amass corpses. We do have spoil timers that are pending, though. But I have the steel butcher table ready to go. So I think I'm going to break down one of these chem tanks and move it. Where to put the chem tanks? So if I'll leave things as like a plan. If we do have a biofuel refinery back here, what I could do is I could move the, at least for now, move the thruster engines outside. Maybe like that. Move these thruster engines outside, and then put the chem tanks like kind of more out of the way, so it doesn't actually block the hallways. Another thing I could do is, and it seems like this is a good idea, just remove some roof. I think it's just getting ambient heat from the ship. And if we remove the roof over here, it will cool down. Because it's... There it goes. Now they're frozen. Or a low-tech solution for a low-tech problem. I'm gonna have Icy hunt, or construct before hunting. And kind of like a nutrient paste, the engines are airtight. So you can use the engines as a wall if you want. I don't want, but like it's, I'm just mentioning it because it's possible. In terms of where to put the other engines, I'll create 2 here, because I do plan on trying to launch with 4 full engines, if possible, so that we can lower our crash risk. Paste dispensers are airtight too, yes. They form a room. Which would be needed, honestly, because if you want it frozen on the other side where the hoppers are, it would need to be airtight, because otherwise it would be impossible to dispense anything from hoppers that aren't constantly rotting food, right? So the concept here is these will eventually be their own rooms. And possibly this will just be split into quarters. Bedroom quarters. That's probably what we'll end up doing. So I think I'm going to commit to that plan now, so that people start having bedrooms. Yes, the number of engines increase the non-failure chance. So if you look at this, these are the crew factors. Having 5 extra crew, up to 5 extra crew, increases quality, 2% per. Thrusters is 2% per. There's piloting ability, and then there's other factors that will be eliminated later on, like larger thrusters or other implants or pilot persona cores and things like that. I think I have a more elegant solution for my current ship problem, which doesn't require much. I'll go with that new plan. But we'll want vents and doors on each. And one of the other advantages of a compartment system like we have here is with a lot of compartments, you end up being able to keep a ship airtight more easily if you have parts blow out. Nutrient paste dispensers are non-airtight? Oh, I don't mean for outside. What I mean is they form a room so you can be frozen. I'm not saying the nutrient paste dispenser should be like this or something. Like, that's not what I meant. What I mean by that is if you have a nutrient paste dispenser, you can create a room like this where the hoppers are frozen and the dispenser's out of the freezer. So not airtight so much as temperature tight. Not that that's really a thing. But I think you get what I'm saying now. They act as walls. And there's, you know, like comms consoles act as walls. Even the biofuel refinery, I think, acts as a wall. Potentially. So we're still working on the ship kitchen. Let's go ahead and queue up some shelving for that. I've really been left alone by the mechs. They don't pursue very quickly, normally. So here, in the kitchen, we'll do meals on this shelf. And then, because it's so small, I don't think it really matters where we put raw ingredients. So then all on the rest of the shelves we'll do. So the meals are going to be important, and then all of the other shelves will be meals are fine, but not packaged survival meals. Raw food is fine, but not fertilized eggs or jelly because they don't need freezing. Let's not bother with raw fungus. Insect and human meat is fine because we can turn it in chem fuel. So to that end, maybe raw fungus is fine too. We'll do pemmican if we have any, and then hopsychoid and smoke leaf, silocaps, which is a new drug, ambrosia, and wort. It's a busy kitchen. Are vents airtight? Yes. When they're closed. When they're open, obviously not. Alright, the more elegant solution I had here was this. The problem is we have a wide issue. I'll just make it wider. Problem solved. Don't know why I didn't think of that. And we have the location of a mechanoid relay with grav light panels on a grav core. And it is frickin' north? Why? Why? I don't want to go more north. Okay, fine game. You want my butt to freeze, I guess you win. What about the meds that are up here? I mean, they're not going anywhere. I could grab them with Rylus, I guess. I'm gonna have Rylus go do that. Alright, these bad boys are frozen, but barely. There is a thaw risk. And we almost have the kitchen's shelves up. And then we'll just make it wider so we can step around the biofuel refinery without issue. Rylus has fetched all the stuff that was up there. Except there's an elk to grab. And we're about to get our bedroom bunks. Ooh! Wow. That thawed quickly. It was like grass. Okay, the spoil timers here soon going to become a problem. We don't really need a biofuel refinery. as the first thing. The other thing I'd like to do is get rid of the steel shelving that I have, because steel is more precious of a building material than the other types of shelving that we can add. So I'm going to create a stockpile that will act as a... Oh, shoot. That will act as a... place to put our stuff, so that I can get rid of the shelving and then slowly replace it with stone. But he's on a food binge, and I only have 12 meals left, so I'm going to need to get the chem gens up. And I plan on put the chem gens right here, where the shelves are. So that's something that Icy can do tomorrow. Because I have a low food warning, but, like, there is so many animals to butcher. How many meals is he going to eat? What do you guys think? If you're guessing all of them, you might be right. This is some crazy building priorities. Just like blitzing around all panicky-like. But the form factor of the base is really coming together at this point. And that's going to open up the ability to actually have power for the first time. So, getting that chem power generator up. So the chem gen is going to allow us to actually keep a freezer frozen. So I'm going to run a hidden conduit up the ship like this. And we can eject chem fuel out of the old chem tanks to produce power, and then we'll be able to make it with the biofuel refinery. Alright, the spoil timer's on this about 1 day. And Lisk left us 0 meals. Thanks, Lisk. He does have to be outside, and it is super not fun for him. So, like, I low-key don't blame him. But, you know, still, oof. Alright. Now that we have the ability to make meals, I'm going to make fine meals until we have, let's say, 15 of them. And Icy is going to be responsible for that. So I'm going to have Icy butcher critters right now. And I'm going to do one at a time because I don't want, like, such a massive influx. Biofuel refinery doesn't count as a wall? It's good to know. I wasn't planning on using it as a wall, though, fortunately. Alright, now that we have a source of power, the other thing we can do is to put light in the research room, which would be very nice for Alice. Put lights around the ship. And then I do have battery tech, so getting batteries going as well. So we don't just burn chem fuel and waste it. So that means Lisk is going to need to source even more steel for us. Hey, Rylus, can you take a minute to haul everything to the stockpile? Because having it read as I have nothing is weird. And we have 15 hours left of spoil timer on a lot of these things. So I'm going to make some more shelves. I think I need a little bit more granite for the last shelf, and then butcher a bunch of animals. Icy might be pulling a bit of a long day here. And if you're seeing stuttering, it's not on my end. It's not on Twitch's end, as far as I could tell. All right, Lisk is finally up. Did I set the cooler temp up? No, I haven't. Not yet. Because it is cold out, I am not going to have a chimney. I'm just going to have it dumped to the ship. So the freezer, well, it helps if we actually close the door, or it's just going to be a feedback loop. The ship is getting warmed through the exhaust now. Another advantage to having an internal free, quote-unquote chimney. Ooh, ship chunks. I smell components. And now I think we have plenty of meat. I've met... Our needs are met with meat. Meet the needs. They're already on roof the chimney? Nope. Alright, the other thing is we want a dumping stockpile here for the corpses, so I'm going to copy and paste. Call that a butchery. Make sure it's right. So fresh animal corpses, correct. Now Rylus is going to just tidy up all this stuff. All right, the next thing we're going to need to do is build the biofuel refinery and the batteries so that we can actually refuel the ship fully and get moving. I would like to get the gold before I leave, and there seems to be a lot of it. There's a gold node here. There's gold here. Because I don't know when the next time we're going to interact with gold. It will drive up our colony value, but I can use it to buy things we need. And then also build a multi-analyzer. I don't think I care about the silver, though. The walk to the silver is pretty long, and the yield is going to be really low. Because we're so bad at mining. Same's probably true of jade. Can I relocate after I've landed? Only with a grav anchor. The way it works is once you take off, the map tile is destroyed. If you don't want it destroyed, you need to build a grav anchor, which prevents the local map from being destroyed after a grav ship launch. And then if you want to move the ship, you have to leave with a grav anchor and then come back. You can't just like reposition the ship. The idea is that the grav engine is a destructive thing. And when you launch, it just destroys what you leave behind. We do have the quartermaster role unfulfilled, which is one of our ideological roles. So I'm going to have you guys decide who to become the quartermaster. So of the roles, we have a leader, a captain, and the moral guide, the quartermaster. I am thinking the leader should not be Lisk. And the reason is, if anyone needs a work drive, it's him, because he's our miner and our planter. Which means maybe he should be quartermaster because he has high social, and Rylus is the other one with social, so Rylus could be the leader, and then Icy would be, you know, the third. But who should be our quartermaster? So again, if I was voting, and I know it's a bit thumb on the scale, quartermaster would be Lisk. The other reason for Rylus to be quartermaster, however, is he is super immune, and quartermasters can't preach health to themselves. But I still think Lisk is probably the better man for the job. And if you're wondering, the mechs are chasing me still. In fact, I will check while I play how long roughly, because in the save game file it will show you how many ticks until they arrive, if you can interpret like ticks to time, which is easier said than done. All right, looking at the tick manager. Oh god, the screen eye blasting. Pursuing mechs. Oh, I have a lot of time. So right now, it will warn me at 950,000 ticks, and then they'll arrive at 110. So they are. Basically, the reason I'm checking is to make sure that they're still coming, and they are. Can I explain the role selection again? So, a leader has the ability to use work drive as an ability to make someone work faster. And because Lisk is the one responsible for mining, and because Starjacks suck at mining, he benefits the most from work drive, in my opinion. On the flip side, you can also work drive your researcher if you find that research is more important. But if it was up to me, knowing that a ship is made of metal and metal cannot be easily obtained by Starjacks who suck at mining, the best person to have work drive on them would be Lisk. So, meaning Lisk shouldn't be the leader, but should be the quartermaster. And that's what you've got decided. So Lisk is going to be the quartermaster. And I can set Rylus up, or Icy up, as our leader. As far as leaders go, it really doesn't matter between the two. Icy or Rylus, it's totally up to you. So the leadership role, the quartermaster role is the one that is able to do convert, counsel, reassure, conversion ritual, and preach health. And it's ideal for someone that has high social skill, because you're the one to, if you're the one to convert, you're the one to try to build a rapport of a prisoner trying to convert to your ideology. The leader can do a leader speech, work drive, combat command, and trial. And leader speech helps with social, but like I would say the moral guide role needs social more than the leader, interestingly. Just in my opinion. There we go, successful role change. And now we have a quartermaster. I'm actually going to change where the batteries are. So we have some chem fuel to make. I'm surprised we've actually had storage for all this meat. It's like a lot of storage for just a few shelves. The storage stacking is so nice. All right, Rylus, I'm tired of Icy hunting and not building, so let's actually get some infrastructure here, shall we? So I have just enough steel to make the biofuel refinery, but not enough to make the battery. The upper right room needs re-roofing. You are correct. Ooh, I saw a chat there about artichokes. And you guys want Rylus to be leader, so let's actually use that work drive. That sounds correct. So our captain, dear captain, is Rylus, and that in this case makes a lot of sense because he's also the highest intellect, which means he's the pilot. So he's our pilot captain, because piloting a ship is an intellect skill. Well, partially. If you take a look at the piloting ability, is intellect, consciousness, manipulation, sight, and any implants that help with piloting. Is the butcher table on the platform? It is not. The music can't decide what it wants to do. I just switching between the two. Like, stop, my brain can't have two songs at once. Alright, now, Rylus, go work drive Lisk, and get him to mine faster. Global work speed up. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey, the Voidborn, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Voidborn.